What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. The Blazers tonight lose a heartbreaker, 121-120 against the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray hits a game-winning three with a second left. After Damian Lillard absolutely goes off, Dame is back. No need to be worried about him. 40-point game from Dame. You love to see it. Also had a huge clutch three, some clutch moments, some vintage Dame moments against the Denver Nuggets. And once again, it goes to waste against the Denver freaking Nuggets. So we're going to break down this game. I'm not happy right now. But first, this is the Blazers Uprise postgame show presented by Bet Online. If you want to get in on any of the wild NBA action this year, and it has been pretty wild, you can have some fun over on Bet Online and use the promo code BELIEVE for 50% rewards. Parlays, live betting action, picks against the spread, all sorts of fun stuff for you guys over there to help make Blazers losses may be more palatable. I don't know, but thank you to BetOnline for sponsoring us. Once again, they've been supportive all season long, but let's just jump into things, Eric. So I'm pretty pissed off. Are you pissed off?
I don't know if pissed off's the right word. I'm freaking annoyed.
I'm pissed off.
I'm annoyed, man.
I'm pissed off at the end of that game. But let me just preface this. If you don't like hearing us rant, this probably is not the stream for you. If you're watching this back after the fact or watching it live now and you don't like when me and Eric get mad, or at least when I get mad, this might not be the stream for you, because I just need to vent some frustrations. Because, Eric, I am sick and tired of putting Jeremy Grant up against elite guards and watching him get absolutely cooked, and then we're 25 games into the season now, and Chauncey Billups is still putting Jeremy Grant against elite guards, and he's getting cooked. The Blazers were up 2, with needing one final defensive stop, right? 6 seconds left, 5 seconds left. What have I said in the past in situations where the Blazers are up 2, final seconds of a game? No threes, no fouls. You can't lose the game if you don't give up a 3 and you don't foul, right? Obviously, you want to stop, but those are 2 things you don't do.
Correction, we had a foul to give, so we could have fouled and made them take the ball out with like 2 seconds left before Jamal Murray when he was still inside the 2-point line. So if he shot it, it still would have been a 2-pointer. But we had a foul to give if we didn't feel like we were going to give up the 3 there. And we didn't use it.
That's 2 losses at home this year that the Blazers probably should have won, or at least, should have extended, where Chauncey has screwed this team over in the final seconds situationally. The first one was Brooklyn, having Dame and Ant in on a final defensive possession tie game, and both those guys are having to try and rebound, and they get a tip-in, right? Game winner. Tonight, you got Jeremy Grant guarding elite guard. I told you guys before game freaking 1 that Jeremy Grant was not good against elite guards. Told you guys that. A lot of people fought back on that. Oh, Jeremy Grant's great on elite guards. Did you watch him in the bubble? Well, I came away with that from watching him in the bubble and watching him hard. He's not good against elite guards. He's gotten cooked all season long against elite perimeter players. He's solid against forwards. He's a good help team defender. He's a solid defensive piece, but Chauncey Billups is misusing him. It's happened all season long. We've seen De'Aaron Fox, Jalen Brunson, etc. go off against him. And that's been the matchup that Chauncey has elected to go with. And on the final defensive possession, instead of putting Josh Hart or somebody to guard Jamal Murray, Keon back? Anyone, Eric, this is how you defend that final possession. Plain and simple. You put somebody on him that can slide with him, that can press up on the perimeter and not give up a 3, not get absolutely shooken out of their shoes on a step back move, okay? That way, you don't give up a 3, and then if they drive, you have Jeremy Grant with all his length and athleticism helping. But no, this dude will never learn, because we've seen it time and time again. It's been the same result. It's my biggest issue with Chauncey right now is he doesn't know how to utilize Jeremy Grant. Yes, people are going to say if we had Gary Payton II, Gary Payton II is probably on Jamal Murray in that situation. Okay, sure, maybe, but how much... We don't have him. How many times is Chauncey going to have to see this to learn? I don't understand.
Well, in this game, Jeremy Grant couldn't navigate a screen, and Nurk had to switch to him how many times in the fourth quarter? Like at least 10 times, probably. That we got burnt by that, and then we just run up the same frickin' defensive coverage. This is the whole thing about what have we talked about for years since the beginning of Blazers Uprise? One of the very first mailbags we did, we answered a question about what we'd like to see on defense, and it was don't make it predictable, right? And that's all we're doing is it's so predictable. Jamal Murray knew he was going to get whatever shot he wanted on that last play. He knew he was going to do a step back three. Like, you could see it happening 5 seconds before it happened. And we're just like, okay, whatever. He hasn't been good this year. Let's see if he can make this. I mean, we just did it the whole fourth quarter, and it's freaking ridiculous. Like, at what point do you try something new and throw a different look at Jamal Murray and Jokic or something just to get them out of their comfort zone? But no, we just let them get comfortable. Jamal Murray has sucked all year. He sucked at parts of this game. He was terrible. But then in the fourth quarter, we let him get shot after shot, isolation after isolation. And eventually he starts hitting, right? And he's a good enough player. You can't just assume he's going to miss for that long.
Yep. But that whole final defensive possession was botched outside of the matchups. You got to know that you have a foul to give. I don't know if Chauncey said it during the timeout. I don't know if Chauncey told him that they had a foul to give. But you gotta make sure your players know that they got a foul to give. Second, why are you double teaming Jokic? Nurkic just stonewalled him 2 possessions in a row. The second possession, They got a tip in off of it, but Nurkic played great defense down low against Nikola Jokic. And if he scores, okay, he scores, tie game. You have a chance at a game winner, but, if you miss, you're going to overtime. You're not going to lose the game. But instead, they double Nikola Jokic. I didn't really understand that either. And then, of course, the Jeremy Grant on Jamal Murray matchup, and Jeremy Grant got cooked by Jamal Murray in this fourth quarter. So, yeah, we've complained about it all freaking season. We complained about it before the first game of the season. I don't understand why an NBA coach can't see it after 25 games when I told you guys that he would struggle defending players like this before game 1.
Well, in Grant's defense, he didn't really get cooked. He just had to switch every time, and that allowed Murray to cook against mismatches. And
Grant's a mismatch on him, man. I mean, he can do good against some guards in isolation. If they're not elite guards, he can do good against pretty much any forward in isolation. He struggles getting through screens, and then whenever he plays against a Jalen Brunson, a Luka Doncic, a De'Aaron Fox, etc. I'm missing a couple guys that have gone off against that matchup this season. Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell, whichever one ended up. Reggie Jackson. Every high-level offensive guard Jeremy Grant has guarded this year has had success against him. Final defensive possession, and that's your matchup. And your guys don't know that they have a foul to give, and they're double-teaming inside the arc when you're up 2. Just completely ill-prepared for that final defensive possession, and that's at least twice that's happened this year on a final defensive possession. But I can point to other games where Chauncey has been a problem late in games with situational defense. I mean, go back to in Dallas when they sub in 4 shooters around Luka and Drew Eubanks' gas just played over 30 minutes, and Chauncey leaves Drew Eubanks in the game and he can't rotate out anywhere quick enough, and they're trying to double team Luka, and then you're stuck with Drew Eubanks having to cover a bunch of ground against shooters and Spencer Dinwiddie goes off. That was on Chauncey as well. There's been too many games that we've dropped this season due to bad situational coaching. Now, I'm not, I still like Chauncey as a coach because of everything he does throughout the game and his overall message. There's a lot that goes into coaching. But, oh my goodness, Eric, this dude has to get better situationally late in games or else we're going to lose in the playoffs because of this.
Yeah, and then something we haven't even mentioned yet. Oh, look what we're sitting on at the end of the game. Not only a timeout, but we didn't use our frickin' challenge when there were several challengeable calls. There was a point we took a 10-point lead. Damian Lillard gets a clean block in the post. I forgot who it was on. Was it Aaron Gordon or Jeff Green? Or I think it was Jeff Green. And the whole crowd knows it was a block. And not only does he not challenge, we get a technical, so they get 3 points out of the possession and get right back into this game after that. Dame hit a 3 or something, and we got we kept the lead for a second. But that was a point in the game where if we win that challenge, we maybe win this game going away double digits. We had everything going for us at the time. And we just sit on our challenge and don't do anything. There were so many calls in this game that he probably could have challenged earlier. And of course, there's no challengeable play in the last few minutes, so we wasted it.
Stop saving your freaking challenge. We had this debate earlier this year, Eric. That's why I don't like saving the challenge, man, when there's obvious calls. I understand saving it if you don't have an obvious call, but when there's an obvious call and you can save points, challenge, it's just inexcusable in a game like this to still have your challenge at the end of it. So very, very frustrating. Chauncey has to learn from that as well. I hate that coaches save their challenge. Never understood it. We've argued about that earlier this year. I didn't understand it then. I certainly don't understand it now, especially in a game like this. So it's just frustrating having... Eric, like, this might come off wrong, but it's frustrating having foresight on how things could go wrong if Chauncey makes bad decisions, and then Chauncey makes a bad decision and it goes wrong. Because it's like, if I can see it coming, why can't you? Mm-hmm. Chauncey's obviously a smarter basketball mind in many of ways, you know? Like, I'm not sitting here hyping myself up. It's just baffling to me that this Jeremy Grant thing, Garden Guards, has played out exactly like I said it was going to play out. And we've seen him get cooked. The numbers don't lie. Like, it's obvious to everyone except Chauncey. Because you guys certainly see it. I see so many people on Twitter saying, you're right, man. Like, why is Jeremy Grant guarding this guy? Jeremy Grant can't get through his screen. Like, you guys see it too. Well, how can we all collectively see it and Chauncey can't? I just don't understand. So that's the thing. It's just like, that's so frustrating. That stuff is more frustrating to me than anything. If it was hard on Jamal Murray and he hits a contested fadeaway step back where he's like falling out of bounds, okay, hell of a shot, man. Like, you put yourself in a situation where that's the best you can do. You know what I mean? Like, Dame's 3 against them was ridiculously hard, right? As a Nuggets fan, you'd have to live with that, right? But don't play into their hands.
Well, here's the deal. If you're going to have Jeremy Grant on Jamal Murray, you know, once Jokic checked into the game, what are they going to run every time? With Murray and Jokic, what are they going to run?
Two-man action.
Two-man pick and roll, right?
Yep.
And they're going to try to force a switch. They know Jeremy Grant can't get through a screen. So why, after possession after possession after possession, we gave up, 32 points in the fourth quarter? Like, it keeps happening over and over again. At some point, you have to say, Jeremy, I really like your length on Jamal Murray here, but if you're not going to fight through that screen harder and stay in front of him so Nurk doesn't have to switch, we have to play you somewhere else. I don't see any of that. It's just like, oh, well, we tried, you know, like that kind of attitude. There's no urgency. There's no, like, if you're going to have Jeremy Grant continue to do this, he should be getting through those screens. But instead, he just stops. And it's almost like they're trying to switch or they're auto-switching. It makes no sense. It's just stupid-ass basketball, and I'm sick of watching my team be freaking out-coached night in and night out when we play a freaking great game. And it's just stupid, man. I'm so sick of talking about the stupid coaching.
Yep. I agree. Let me thank some donos. Shout out Kyle Wilson, $5 dono says, definition of freaking insanity. Chauncey costs us again. The Blazers are the anti-Mariners, finding new ways to lose. So beyond annoyed. Thank you, Kyle Wilson, for the $5 dono. Appreciate it, man. It's insanity to me as well. Shout out Ads, $5 dono says, good thing NBA only reviews last 2 minutes of a game. Calls in the third quarter against the Blazers could fill the page. Another Chauncey no challenge game. Yeah, the Chauncey no challenge thing was ridiculous, but I feel like the refereeing set Dame off, you know what I mean? So in the end, maybe it canceled out, you know, because Dame went off. Love seeing it. Shout out Mr. Payan, $5 dono says, Payne, let the therapy session begin. Yes, this is a therapy session. Let it all out in chat, because we're going to let it all out on stream. Thank you, Mr. Payan, for the $5 dono. Shout out Carter Dick with the $2 dono says, nice to see Dame playing like a superstar again. Yeah, he looks healthy. When he came back after that first calf injury, he didn't look healthy. Now he looks healthy again. Now he looks like Dame again. So, love seeing it. And then shout out Antonio, $2 dono says, Chauncey threw the team under the bus after the game. we're going to have to listen to that.
Yeah.
And we might relapse to some Terry Stotts stuff.
I just saw the clip has been floating around the last couple of days. I'm not sure why, but of us reacting to Stotts saying we're 29th in defense without Derek Jones Jr. in the lineup, and we're 29th or with him and 29th without him, when Jason Quick asked him why our defense is so bad and our best defensive player isn't getting minutes. So, yeah, might have another one of those tonight.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, thank you for the donos. Also, I forgot to say this is part of the intro. I'm hangry right now. I haven't eaten all day. I'm going to let Eric solo this thing for like 10 minutes because I legitimatately just ordered food. I'm not even going to lie. All right. I need to eat something, and I'm not going to eat on stream. I know some of you like that, but I'm not going to do it. So Eric's going to solo it. Eric, get into whatever you want or something, man, and I'll be back in like 10 to 12 minutes and just see if the chat's on fire or where this whole thing is at,
Do we have player cards tonight, or can I start on the...
Chris is... I haven't been able to set them up. I have the coding, but I haven't been able to set them up in Streamlabs. So not tonight. But you can get into whatever players you want to talk about, and literally I do not care. And I'll sit here and listen and be a bystander while I eat these. I got some freaking chicken nuggets, so that'll be enjoyable and maybe calm me down a little bit because I am still pissed off and I don't like it. Anyway, I will be back. Have fun.
All right, chat. I want to read your thoughts on the game on the stream. So give me some Blaze the Nug. Stop, man. But yeah, this one's going to sting a while, says Chris Brandlin. I completely agree. It's one of those games where, if you get to 14-11, Denver's would be on a 4-game losing streak. We would have at least a tie in the season series right now because we'd be 2-0 against them. And this is it's just tough, man. I think we would have been back up into the 4th seed if we win. Yeah. But man, Dame was incredible in this game. Especially in the second half, not so much in the first half, although he did have 9 assists in the first half. But, the fourth quarter, the offense just went to crap once again. How many times is that in the last month? I can think of a handful of games where we had horrible fourth quarters. And it starts with just we for some reason just stopped playing the way that got us the lead. We had 19 assists in the first half, built a 10-point lead in the third quarter. Despite Anfernee not shooting well, we were still right in that game. And the fourth quarter, Chauncey, I thought he did a good thing, and that was in the second quarter, we came out with a front line of Eubanks, Winslow, and Watford, and I thought that lineup got absolutely abused. And you're not muted, by the way, Tori. So the fourth quarter, he leaves Watford on the bench, but he plays Grant. So it's like, oh, great. At least Ant and Grant are in. We have 2 starters. And our entire offense was either isolation for Anfernee or post Jeremy up 15 feet away from the hoop and make him take a tough shot. It's just horrible offense. There was no movement. Winslow standing in the opposite corner, just spotting up from 3, not cutting. Sharp was just standing around. There was no plays, no sets, no movement. And then, of course, there goes the lead. It's gone. And they have to call a timeout and bring Dame in. And, of course, Dame saved us, almost won us the game, basically single-handedly at the end there. We get some stops. Nurk had some incredibly awesome defensive plays in the second half. And, of course, we, There was a play where Hart, I don't know if he got fouled or not, but he gets blocked on a reverse lay-in by Jokic. And then there was the fast break where we should have gone up 3, and Ant and Hart turned the ball over. Man, it's just so frustrating. And then you have Keon, who was healthy to play this game. He plays a few seconds, hits a 3, and doesn't play again. It's not. I'm not saying that Keon deserves to play necessarily, but like, why not put him in for a defensive lineup at the end? And then if you go look at the offensive rebound by Aaron Gordon, Nurk plays great defense. Hart is trying his best to box out Aaron Gordon, but he's stuck under the hoop. Grant is nowhere to be found. Of course, he's not crashing the board on the rebound. Thanks a lot for that, Jeremy. And Winslow is standing right behind Aaron Gordon, but he can't jump. So, of course, he gets out-rebounded. He doesn't even go for the ball. And then Dame's behind Gordon as well, and he can't get up there. So it's just incredible. Like, you look at the stats for Denver with Jokic in the game versus out of the game, and to have lost the minutes, we actually outplayed them in the Jokic minutes and gave up the lead. It's just despicable how bad our bench unit is and how often we don't take advantage of when their best players sit. And this game was a microcosm of that. Just horrible stretches of both offense and defense in this game. And I just don't understand why you don't play a more switchable lineup there at the end, why you don't switch someone when the game at the end, there were multiple timeouts for both teams with a couple minutes left. You can afford to do offensive and defensive substitutions. Yes, you put Winslow in for Anfernee a couple times, but why not put Keon in? Why not put a defensive lineup, an all-defensive lineup, someone who can rebound? And it's just unfortunate. I don't understand. Frustrated. AJ says he's concerned about Ant because he takes some really bad shots. I mean, he didn't really even shoot that much in this game, did he? I'm going to look at the box score. 12 shots. I mean, I don't know. Like, he's been on fire the last 2 games. He only took 12 shots. I mean, part of that might be because he's not getting, for some reason, we don't run plays for him to get open. He's not seeing the ball. He's not touching it as much when in the first half when Dame wasn't even doing well. So what's the excuse there? And then, I mean, he's not hitting his 3, so he's trying to drive. It's not his fault the paint's packed and no one respects our shooting outside of that. You know how hard that is for a player? Like, look at the shots Dame had to make in this game, man. I mean, Dame had to hit like a rainbow 35-foot three-pointer with a man in his face. He hit a step back, a sidestep, like power dribble. Like, this isn't a case where Ant is the problem. These guys are not getting the proper spacing when players like Winslow and Hart and players like that aren't cutting, are just standing around the 3-point line. And Anfernee, most of his troubles result in the second unit when he's running the thing like I'm talking about with that Watford, Eubanks, Winslow unit. And then with the Jeremy Grant, Winslow, Eubanks, and Sharp unit in the fourth quarter to start that quarter. I mean, where's he supposed to go? Like, what do you mean the paint's packed? No crap. Like no one respects any of those shooters. Like, so we're not going to. He's not going to have driving lanes. So I mean, this is the problem, and until someone starts hitting some more shots. I mean, Jeremy Grant's been good this year, but one person with three other guys not good at shooting is not going to help the spacing on the floor. And we're running no action off ball for him with that lineup. So I don't blame anyone on the court for that. That's, to me, more coaching. Yeah, Eubanks did hit a 3 in this game. That was crazy. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Ant was not good this game. I'm not saying he was good. Like, he was terrible. He airballed a 3 in the fourth quarter, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just speaking to your point that the paint he's driving into a packed paint. Yeah, like, how is he supposed to do that? Yeah, I don't. They had a foul to give and one, so they could have possibly fouled right on the inbounds when they had the back turned. Like Tori said, I have no idea why they're double teaming Jokic in that situation. Nurkic had been playing great defense on him, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, I don't agree with just fouling if you're in the bonus and letting them tie the game. I mean, maybe you give yourself a little bit of chance to win it, but I mean, you pretty much have to play up and make them drive to the basket at least. Don't give up a 3, even if it's a step back, falling out of bounds 3-pointer. You can't give up a 3-pointer without, you know, making him drive first. You know he's going to step back in that position. They're going to go for the win. Did I notice that Portland didn't get many trips to the foul line? Yeah. I mean, I don't really like to blame the refs that much, but I felt like they were terrible tonight, especially in the third quarter. Yeah. Aaron Cueto, that's just false, man. Nurk was incredible tonight. I don't know. So Chauncey threw him under the bus or what? Jokic had 30 points. Okay, you didn't watch the game then, did you, Aaron? Like, I hate that crap, man. People just come in here and look, oh, the opposing center had 30 points. That must mean this happened or whatever. That's so dumb. Like that. I don't. You must have missed that point when he came back in the second quarter, and he absolutely cooked Justice Winslow and Eubanks in the post and scored like 8 straight points. Like, other than that, Nurkic played incredible defense on him. Like, so I don't get that at all. Man. What did Lamar say about coach? What? I don't know what that means. Yeah, even on so the play, dude, this makes me so mad as a post player. So Jokic, Nurk gets the ball in the post. Jokic twice with both arms like this, which is an automatic foul. You have to be like this, right? You have to have the arm bar. You can't have two hands like this. So twice, he hits Nurkic in the post, pushes off with both arms extended like this. One time he hits him right on the shoulder. This is right before Nurk then backs him down. And then he freaking flops like a little baby. And the refs call that. He should have gotten a foul on twice before that. And I feel like if Chauncey challenges that, he probably doesn't win the challenge because Nurk kind of extends his arm, whatever. They're probably not going to overrule that. But if they review the full play, which they're allowed to do, they could have ruled that Jokic fouls Nurkic before that contact. So that could have possibly been reversed to a Jokic and it was Nurk's 5th foul, so that was a key moment in the game. We had sat on the timeout. That was after the Dame block, which we should have used the challenge already, so we might not even had the challenge at that position anyway. But that was a key moment in the game for sure as well. It's just funny. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't stand flopping, man. Especially when you act like you got ran over by a truck when you're just playing post defense and you're initiating the contact with those pushes. Like, it's one thing if you're just standing there and the guy runs into you, sure, flop all you want and get that call. That's smart to do. But when you're leaning on someone, pushing on them, hit, then you flop, that's weak ass crap. And I can't believe the refs rewarded him for that. And of course, Nurk makes it too. Like, should have been an and one probably. Or no call. It just drives me crazy. Oh, let me read off this donation from Hyper Prime. Thank you for the $5 donation. I'm mad about the outcome, but this game was a very enjoyable game to watch till the end. Nurk was awesome. Those finishes had me jump out of my seat. I mean, I feel like Nurk was really good this game. Unfortunately, down the stretch, they just couldn't buy a basket other than Dame, and then Ant's like little runner in the lane. But other than that, I don't remember the last time someone else scored in the fourth quarter. Maybe I should look at the box score or the play-by-play. I want to find out when the last person other than Dame scored besides Ant's 2-point shot with like 25 seconds left. Does anyone remember in chat? But thank you for the donation. Let me look this up real quick.
I'm back.
Hello, Tori.
How
are your Nuggets?
It was good, right? You know, I was kind of calming down, and I saw that dude come in chat blaming Nurkic for Jokic's 30 points. So while I watched this stream, I went and looked at every made shot from Nikola Jokic. Only 4 of his made shots were on Nurkic. There were other made shots where Nurkic was in the game.
He scored 30 though, Tori. So
there were other made shots where Nurkic was in the game, but Nurkic had to help. One time because Jeremy Grant can't get through a screen on Jamal Murray. Another time it's just like a breakdowns on the interior. Nurkic has to help and then has to try and recover back to Jokic, or somebody else isn't helping onto his man because you're supposed to help the helper, right? There was only 4 shots that Jokic made where it was like on Nurkic. 3 of them were heavily contested. Every other play, Nurkic was either having to help off of Jokic or it was against Eubanks. So, I was feeling better. I needed to eat. I hadn't eaten all day. Was feeling better. And, and then that dude came into chat and ruined it. Ruined my Nuggets, man. Actually, I had like 1 left when he said that, so I'm fine. But, dude, you can't just look at the freaking box score and say, this guy had 30 points. That means the other guy on the other team at that position sucked on defense. Stop box score watching. Don't come in here with some hot take because you looked at a box score, okay? And if you watch the game, you should listen to us and we can teach you how to watch the game at a deeper level. Because, dude, this was not Nurkic at all. There was only 4 times where Jokic scored on Nurkic in this game. Jokic was a -8 for a reason. Nurkic played good defense on Jokic. And what? You expect Nurkic to not get scored on ever by the 2-time defending MVP? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's not be ridiculous.
There was one play where I wish I had this on breakdown, but so there was a couple minutes left and Nurkic has to switch on Murray because Grant doesn't get through the screen. Motions for Grant to come back and recover. Grant kind of lollygags out to him. Grant finally gets there. As Murray's passing down to the post, Nurkic gets back to the post, so he's guarding Jokic 1-on-1. Jokic turns to the middle of the key and goes hook shot. Nurk blocks it. That's when, I think, when they tried to pass ahead, and that's when Josh Hart fumbled the ball and we turned it over. But that was like an incredible play. Not only did he make up for Jeremy Grant and the Coach Billups' stupid-ass coaching, but he recovered and stopped Jokic, the MVP, on the same play. Like, it's just... you guys have to not be watching the game to say that kind of crap, man. It drives me crazy. But Tori, so I was looking this up.
Yeah.
Okay, Ant scored a basket with 25 seconds left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than Damian Lillard, care to guess at what point of the game our last made basket by anyone other than Damian Lillard was?
Eubanks' 3?
That was pretty close.
I know it has to be a while.
That was very close.
Yeah.
Our last shot made was with 8:21 left in the fourth quarter. Jeremy Grant made that turnaround in the post over, I think, DeAndre Jordan from the baseline when we posted him up three straight times and he made one of them.
So then he was like, so then Jeremy Grant was like, oh, I got Jamal Murray on me who's short. Well, I'm gonna keep shooting the turnaround fadeaway.
8:21 left in the game, and all you had the whole rest of the game was Dame save us play. Dame save us. Dame save us. That's all.
I mean,
until they double team Dame and he got stuck on the baseline, had to pass to Ant, and he makes a shot with 25 seconds left.
I mean, yeah, 21 points in the fourth quarter is not great. Dame going off. I don't know. Like, I don't disagree, man. I just but
like even
the defense is what I'm more pissed off about. Still.
But Dame's going off once again. If he's not hitting those incredible shots, we would have scored like 10 points in the fourth quarter. We had no movement. We weren't doing anything on offense. The flow just completely went to crap. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, if he's not hitting them, is he setting up his teammates more and you're just kind of living off that, or what do you think? Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing is normally he hunts those shots when he is feeling it, and he was feeling it, so he hunted those shots. I don't know. Well,
here's the other thing, too. This makes me mad as well. 0.9 seconds left, right?
Yeah.
We have a timeout left. The play did not work. No one was open. Why don't you call timeout again and set something up? Rerun a different play.
I think one of the options was Nurkic slipping to the middle.
Okay.
And Nurkic was open. Perfect. Chauncey just threw it in, or Winslow just threw it into a defender.
Why are you throwing that pass low, or why are you not throwing that up? So where Nurk can go get it up in the air and push it towards the hoop. It makes no sense. Winslow had that one pass to Jeremy Grant. He frickin' travels. I think that was Winslow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That passed the ball in on that play. It might not even been Winslow's pass on that one.
Winslow was the inbounder, yes.
Okay. So it wasn't even a great pass. Just Jeremy Grant happened to catch it and put it in after the travel, right?
Wait, which player are you talking about?
The Jeremy Grant travel against the Suns game winner.
Oh, yeah, that was Winslow.
Okay. Yeah. So he had that pass, right? Other than that, we had another game. I forget which one it was, but it was it the Brooklyn game where we had 0.8 seconds left or something, and we tried to inbound it, and we tried to run that same frickin' play.
Yeah.
To Grant, and the pass was terrible. Winslow is not passing good, and he can't see over the top of Jokic when he's standing there. I don't know. Maybe have Nurk pass it in and not have Winslow in the game and those things.
Yeah, because he's not tall enough. He's throwing. They normally defenses in that situation put length on the inbounds, and you got 6'4" Justice Winslow here. And also, here's the thing with Winslow. Right? He can pass, but his passing isn't super skillful. It's he can make the right read in situations where most forwards off the bench maybe wouldn't. He'll come off and pick a roll and know to throw the lob in certain situations where, a backup forward normally wouldn't, right? Jabari Walker ain't throwing that pass. But it's not it's not like his passing is super accurate or anything. It's not like his passing is super skillful or super creative.
Precise, yeah.
I think it's just more so he gets assists because he makes reads, right? Mm-hmm. Which is fine, But when you have a guy inbounding the ball, you got to have a guy with some skill passing the ball because you got to be able to put the ball in like a very specific spot. And he didn't do that. In the Jeremy Grant, buzzer beater, okay, sure. But like that pass, I lean towards that pass being bad because I don't think Justice was trying to set him up for what happened. It was just a weird play. So, I would like to have Nurkic in and, pass in that situation because it's height, because he can see over the top. And then you just get 4 shooters out there. Maybe you put Sharp out there for the backdoor stuff. I don't know. But do something like that, But I'm not a fan of Justice throwing that inbounds.
Yeah, well, and two, with 0.9 seconds or, whether there's 1 second left or less, you have to throw it high because you have to catch and shoot immediately. You don't have time to grab the ball, take a dribble, or do anything. You have to just grab it and shoot. So it makes no sense to throw a pass directly to someone that's on the move towards the basket. Like, lead them like a quarterback would lead a receiver and leave it high, especially if your tallest player on the floor and there's no center because Jokic is guarding the inbound. So there's no height around the rim. Throw it up towards the rim where Nurk all has to do is tip it towards the rim or catch it and shoot it in one motion in the air. And with 1 second left, that's your only play. You do not throw it near the chest of your big man, to where he's standing. You throw it to where he will be standing by the time it's over. And unfortunately, Caldwell Pope, I think it was, read it perfectly and got back into it because the pass was so bad.
Yep. Anyway, just tired of seeing late game mismanagement. At this point, it's coaching malpractice to keep putting Jeremy Grant on elite guards. But Chauncey's going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and I can't wait till it loses us a playoff game. Just hopefully, we can win a series in 6 or something and absorb that type of loss. It's just frustrating. So, yay, Eric.
Yay, indeed.
We're like back in our element right now. This is such a nostalgic stream, isn't it, chat? Oh my goodness. Let me know when the Chauncey interview is up. Is it up?
No.
Dang.
Someone made a comment about someone making comments about it not being the coaching on Twitter, and I went and checked it out real quick, and it's great analysis, dude.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, Chauncey wasn't on the floor. He didn't make shots or get his stuff. That's the level of analysis you get.
Yeah. So people have, I don't know. I should not say what I want to say. If I talk, I might get in trouble. I'm just going to not say anything, Eric, because that analysis is almost as bad as Chauncey's late game coaching was. Anyway.
No, don't say it. Like, that's, yeah.
Chat wants me to say it,
I can't wait to listen to this interview, so.
Chat wants me to say it, Eric. I have to say it.
No, I have some people saying that he throws Nurk under the bus. Others are defending him, saying he didn't throw Nurk under the bus. I don't know. No, come on, don't. We're not gonna go there tonight. We have enough. We have enough stuff to rant about without talking about.
Eric's the angel on my shoulder. Chat, you're the devil.
No.
But there's one big angel, and then there's 286 little devils, little demons on my shoulder. Okay, Eric, I'll play it in the middle. You cannot talk down on anyone's analysis with that being your level of analysis. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you are, then that's weak. There. All right. Not that bad, Eric. Right? That's okay. But chat, you got a little bit of flavor. Anyway, yeah. Let me know when this interview is up because I'm dying to listen to it.
Chris Brandlin, $5 donation. Thank you. Billups has to start making adjustments or we're going to struggle all year. Yeah. I mean, I guess we didn't run zone a lot in the second half. There's that. I seem to recall someone saying on the preview show today, Tori, I think that was you that said that this isn't a good team to run zone against, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooters and a big that throws dimes.
They got wide open shots in the first half running zone, kind of made us so we couldn't run zone anymore. And it's just, it drives me crazy when we just continually run the same defensive coverage and it doesn't work. They cut into our 10-point lead, take the lead several times. Dame saves us, and we just keep running the same defense and letting them score. Like it makes no sense, man.
Yep. Don't run zone against this freaking team, please. Yeah. Like one possession, maybe. With Jokic out of the game, maybe. Throw it up against the bench lineup that isn't as smart. It doesn't know exactly how to adjust to it over a couple of possessions. Then once they adjust to it, that's when you switch back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and you can kind of tell when an offense adjusts to it. They don't even necessarily have to make a shot. You can kind of... Normally you run it for 2, 3, 4 possessions max. But we over-rely on it. So... Anyway, Vin, how much of our defensive struggles and poor schemes are due to us running 3 guards again? Josh Hart's just fine against forwards. None of it's due to 3 guards. Our defense wasn't good when we were missing Dame, and we threw Justice Winslow in there instead, right? And he's a forward. Was our defense any better? No, it was not. It's not due to us running 3 guards. It's us guarding guards with our power forward who struggles guarding guards. That's the problem. So it's like, if we're running 3 guards, maybe we should have one of those guards guard the guards because our power forward can't guard the guards.
Because it's a combination of both. Because, I mean, how many times have we broke down plays? How many times have we said this throughout this year? It seems like every stream, right? At least in the losses. And even some wins. Because, I mean, I would have said the same thing if we won this game tonight somehow. Like, it still was dumb what we did in the fourth quarter of this game. But if you have Grant on their best player, their primary ball handler, if that person gets by Grant, which happens pretty much every time, who is there to help? You have your 3 guards, right? So if you want to call Josh Hart a guard, this is the problem with 3 guards. It's Josh Hart, it's Damian Lillard, it's Anfernee Simons. So those are the 3 in help position. Those are the 3 when Grant just stands at the 3-point line after his guy shoots because he's not crashing the boards and never frickin' rebounds. Those are the guys that have to rebound for him. That's why Josh Hart averages the most points or rebounds per game for a guard. It's not that there's 3 guards in the game. It's that we have these players playing in positions to where they're having to do something that is not going to work game in and game out long term in the playoffs against good teams, having your smallest defenders be your line of defense at the rim when Nurkic and Grant are up top in a pick and roll situation. And it happens time and time again. And this is why it's freaking stupid. It's idiotic. Anyone who says, Jeremy Grant's the best defender, he needs to be on their best player, it's stupid. And that person is stupid. You know why? Because if Jeremy Grant is up there, he gets blown by, he gets screened, and he is not in the play. He is a great help defender. Oh my goodness. He is one of the better rim protectors, secondary rim protectors, help defenders in the league if you put him in that position. So when Jamal Murray blows by Anfernee Simons instead of Jeremy Grant, at least you have Jeremy freaking Grant there defending the rim. You have him in the paint to stop him, to make him make a tough turnaround shot over the top of him, right? You have a lengthy 6'9" guy. I'm so sick of hearing you have to put the their best guard. No, you don't. You put him in the position to defend the play the best, and that's not what Chauncey's doing. And if you think he should continue to put Jeremy Grant in these positions, you're wrong too. It's just flat out wrong. He is constantly trailing the play, not able to use his length and athleticism and help ability to his full advantage, and it's putting Anfernee Simons, Damian Lillard, and Josh Hart in those situations. And a lot of the times, either the defense just shoots over the top of those guys, or they lob it up to the big when Nurk has to help them out because they're not big enough. This is the problem with running this kind of scheme. It has nothing to do with playing three guards. It's that our guards are put in the worst possible position they can be put in on the defensive end because we have our best defender in the worst possible position for his skill set. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Anybody that says you got to put Jeremy Grant up against their best offensive guard because he's the best defender, that's so simplistic. It's bad. Did certain guys have certain strengths defensively? Certain guys have certain weaknesses defensively. As a head coach, your job is to maximize the strengths of your team and minimize the weaknesses. Not play a defensive piece to his weakness, not his strength. But sometimes that context is too much to think about, you know? It's easy to just sit here and say, good defender, go on, good player, yeah! Basketball is not that simple, unfortunately. If it was, any of us could go out there and coach. Shoot, go on 2K and see who has the best defense rating or grade on 2K, and then you guard people with that. That's 2K thinking, man. Play players to their strengths, not their weaknesses. And at this point, Chauncey, for some reason, can't figure out what Jeremy Grant's defensive strengths are. I figured it out before first game, Eric. I'm sitting here not trying to say, I told you, but it's still just so baffling to me. I still can't get over the fact that I told you, like, we knew what this guy's defensive strengths and weaknesses were because we watched some freaking tape. I mean, you would think that somebody that gets paid to do it would figure it out after watching him in practice and in games for 25 games. The rest of the fan base, or most of the fan base, can figure it out. Those that are willing to actually pay attention. I don't know, man. It's just... You ordered it perfectly. I can't even add anything else. Well said.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get, put length on a smaller player and bother him with that, right? But in order for that to work, you have to stay in front of your guy and you have to get through screens. Jeremy Grant does neither of those currently, and until he either fights through the screens faster and actually gets through them and recovers to his man, or he stops getting blown by, like, that's just not going to happen. It's stupid. Like, I don't understand.
Anyway, well, you're wrong because Chauncey's the coach and he wasn't out there playing, so none of that matters apparently. Shouts Carson Dunn, $2 Dodo says, I love you, Eric. Laughing face emoji, heart emoji. Thank you, Carson. Carson,
Carson.
I love you, Carson. I want to be loved. I'm just kidding. Eric deserves the love. That rant was epic. Yeah, we'll take questions, I guess, and I don't know where you want to go with this, man. Like, we could talk about individual players if you want to. I don't even want to talk about individual players a whole lot. Dame's back. Nurk was great today. I mean, it's funny how he played really good defense, I thought, on Jokic for the second game this year, by the way. And was 9 for 10, 2 for 3 from 3, and people were still blaming him, saying we need to trade him, and he was a plus 10. Jokic was a minus 8. Yeah, our bench is the problem. I heard you talking about this when you were solo. Our bench is becoming a legitimate problem because you got nobody off this bench that you can trust to score. It has to be a starter playing with the bench that you trust to score, but the problem is this bench makeup doesn't make it easier for those guys to score because you don't got guys that can knock down shots.
Mm-hmm.
Keon, made a 3 in 30 seconds of play. Eubanks made a 3. Sharp's 1 for 4, Winslow 0 for 0, Wofford 0 for 0. You just don't got enough shooting on this bench, so it's like, Ant, save us. And he's driving against a paint that's packed with defenders because you got Winslow and Watford and Eubanks out there. So I don't really know what Ant is supposed to do. I don't even know how Chauncey can even necessarily, like, scheme guys open. Where do you get Justice Winslow the ball to score other than, like, 2 feet away from the rim? It's not easy to get just Justice Winslow solidly open layups, right? Especially when you have no spacing. Where do you get Watford the ball to score? He only scores around the rim, or that little float shot he does. Same with Eubanks. Like, Sharp's kind of struggled offensively. Defensively, he's gotten cooked lately. He's a minus 16 in 14 minutes tonight. He's just not getting it done defensively at all. Yeah, so this bench lineup's a problem. This starting lineup is phenomenal, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good, because you can always build a bench out of nothing, right? Like, we did it back in 2019. We got Ennis Canner off the buyout market, and we got Rodney Hood in a trade for second-round picks, Wade Baldwin, and Nick Stauskas, and you already had Seth Curry. There you go. You got Zach Collins on that bench. I want that bench with this starting lineup. That would be a contender. But this bench is real bad right now, and the Blazers still almost win this game because Dame's insane. Anfernee struggles in this game. They still almost beat a good Denver team with a bad bench and Ant not being able to carry it. So that's something we have to address. Gary Payton II will come back and help with the defense, but I'm not sure what he helps with offensively. So where do we go? Is it time to start having conversations about replacing multiple guys on this bench unit via trade? Like, how do we even feasibly do that? Or are we just stuck?
I don't know. I feel like we don't really have a lot of options for trades. Yeah. I feel like they got to figure it out. Hopefully, I don't know. I feel like they're waiting for Gary Payton. Like, he's going to solve problems. Like, they don't think it's offensive problem, you know?
There's offensive problems with the bench, man. I mean, you look at the 5 guys off the bench today. Watford, Eubanks, Winslow. You don't trust them making threes at all. Keon Johnson hasn't, played in a while, but who knows how good of a three-point shooter he is. He's probably a 34-35%er. Shaedon Sharpe, 1 for 4 today. He struggled offensively. Like, yeah, he can kind of shoot, but he can't create his own shot. You know how much more comfortable I'd be with this bench unit if we had, like, a Malik freaking Beasley? And I've never liked Malik Beasley.
Yeah, just some sort of sniper.
Just somebody that can score. Just somebody that give the ball to, he's going to knock down shots. If he's in the corner, he can space it. That defender's not just going to sprint at Anfernee Simons every time he puts the ball on the floor. Like, we need something different off this bench, man. This bench is not cohesive. Like, I don't have a problem with Watford playing spot minutes if they're shooting around him. I don't have a problem with Winslow playing spot minutes if they're shooting around him. The problem is that the pieces aren't cohesive.
Yeah.
You got too many non-shooters.
Mateo has a name for us. Carmelo Anthony. I mean, he was, what?
I mean, but you're rearranging your problems by doing that.
38% three-point shooter last couple of years.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is you don't want somebody that's complete trash on defense.
Yeah,
like, that's the problem. This team can't afford to have somebody that's complete trash. So it's like, yeah, we can throw out all these guys that can knock down threes or whatever, or do some things, but our defense isn't good enough where we can put Melo into the lineup for like a Justice Winslow and be okay. Melo's not good. Dude, like I wasn't the biggest fan of Melo when he was here. I don't want to rehash that. All of a sudden, Block Boy will come down from the rafters and will be screaming at me in chat. But yeah, I mean, like just a guy that can be okay defensively, just like a solid team defender that can just knock down some shots and then attack closeouts and maybe get to the rim would be perfect. Jalen McDaniels type of guys, like there might be some guys out there that could do that. Naz Reid, like he's a center, but He can knock down threes well enough and can attack closeouts a little bit and is okay defensively. You know, like, yeah, Eubanks has had some good moments this year, but the problem is he can't shoot, except for on a trail three today out of the blue, which is just the most random shot of the season. So, you know, at least to be a little bit more cohesive. I'm not saying Naz Reid is better than Eubanks or anything. I've been a Naz Reid fan, but he'd be more cohesive with the rest of the bench because you need a shooter. And you need a guy that you could give the ball to, and if the defense runs out on him, he can drive. And then somebody helps off Winslow when he cuts and dump off pass, right? Whereas you kick the ball to Trendon Watford behind the three-point line, nobody's running him off the line. So Winslow's still in the other corner, and his guy's sagging off him, and somebody's sagging off Watford, but close enough to bother his three-point shot enough, and Watford's not a shooter. So then Watford drives into the paint, and it's packed. No space for Winslow to cut. That's what I mean by the lack of cohesion.
Oh, no, then there's an open shooter in the corner, so he kicks it out. Oh, it's Justice Winslow.
Yay, little rainbow three, shooting it from the hip, letting it scrape the rafters. Hopefully it hits something on the way down. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what the trade deadline is going to be focused around for me. I know people love to talk about stars, but we need a cohesive bench.
Yeah. Someone said Rudy Gay in chat. That's not bad. I feel like he's not good enough defensively though either.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, maybe that. I mean, I think he makes
like $6 million.
If he makes $6 million, it's maybe you can make it work salary wise. But you have to go in the tax. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's been awful this year, though, man. Like, in the 13 games he's played.
Hurt,
yeah, but he's played 13 games. He's shooting 38% from the field and 27% from three, and he is 36, so that's probably just decline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people will toss out Kyle Kuzma. He'll cost too much, but also the dude's shooting 30% from three right now, and he's never been the best three-point shooter. Also, it would take way too much to get him. And salary-wise, you'd have to trade Josh Hart, which is not the move. So it has to be guys that are cheap, under $10 million, preferably under 6. And if they're, between 6 and 10, you better hope that, you better be willing to give up Nasir Little for them. Because his contract would be needed. With Justice Winslow's, that's about $8 million. So that's the problem right now, is we're right up against the tax. And we're hard capped, which is like $6 million past the tax. Brian Scalabrini says Terrence Ross, he is not good defensively.
He makes too much.
And he makes $12 million.
Anyone over $6 million is pretty much a non-starter unless they're an upgrade over Hart, and that's not many people that are available.
Terrence Ross offensively, I wouldn't hate at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be the type of offensive guy we need. A guy that can get hot, a guy that can knock down shots. Offensively, sure. Then again, in 63 games last year, he shot 29% from three. So, I don't know. He's a career 36%er this year, 38%. So, probably just an outlier. But if he's not making threes, he's terrible, like, all around. But that's the type of guy, idealistically, you need offensively. He's just terrible defensively. And this team can't handle a terrible defensive player. But yeah, I guess if you want guys that are born in Portland, that, Jeremy Grant, Terrence Ross, there you go.
Drew
Eubanks? Yeah. Where was Claiborne? I know he was from this area. I don't know.
Yeah, Clay grew up here too.
We should get Clay off the bench, man. That's what we should do. Antonio Blakeney, there you go. Antonio Blakeney, Eric. That's an old name. Shout out Carson Dunn, $5 donor says, Tori, I love you too. This is for your next 4x4. 4 for 4. Thank you, Carson. Love you too. Thank you for paying for the next 4 for 4. Shout out Hail Blazers, $2 donor says, Hart won't shoot wide open from 10 feet. I mean, Hart needs to be more aggressive, I agree. But he's 5 for 10 today. Missed the only 3 he took. I mean, that's the thing is, if you have more shooting around Josh Hart, the way he's playing right now, even though I wish he would be a little bit more aggressive shooting threes, is fine. The problem is, the lack of shooting makes the fact that he won't shoot threes more glaring and more of a problem.
Yeah, I just thought of something, too. the Hart thing reminded me of this because what happened at the beginning of this game? Oh, we pushed the tempo and it was going good. And then the second unit comes in that has to push the tempo. They have to do it or they suck in the half court offense. And what do? Oh, let's slow the ball down the court, let the defense set up and get in their positions, and then we'll try to run some stupid play that won't work because no one's moving. And yeah, like that's all our second unit's doing. It drives me crazy. They need to push the pace. Sharp needs to be out in transition. Winslow is only effective in transition or moving.
When we get Gary Payton the second back.
He needs to be in transition, exactly. It's so dumb. And Denver is terrible at defense, and we couldn't get a good shot in the fourth quarter. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
Kai in chat says, where'd it go?
Jai, J-A-I?
Or Jai, yeah, sorry, Jai. What do you guys think about Sharp? Why is he not performing? I'll let you answer that in a minute, but I just want to say, I mean, he's a 19-year-old rookie. I think we got a little spoiled by him.
Yeah, just
shooting like 70% from three out the gates and stuff. Like he was crazy. Now he's back to being that raw talent that we thought he would be going into the season. It's not that he's doing anything wrong. I think he's a lot further behind in terms of development than his hot shooting stretch at the beginning of the season would have suggested. And now he's almost to the point where it's questionable to play him a lot until he improves. But I'm not worried about him long term at all.
Yep. I'm just looking at trade machines right now. I'm just searching for names desperately, and I can't find anything good other than Jalen McDaniels.
Yeah. You know what else drove me crazy in this game?
What?
I don't understand. So, Jeremy Grant gets posted up by Aaron Gordon on the block, right?
Yeah.
And so the basket's here. Okay, they're right here. All right.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant's playing him on his left side, right?
Yeah.
Like towards the paint, the middle of the paint.
Okay.
Aaron Gordon catches the ball. I'm like, he's going to spin baseline and dunk it. He's going to spin baseline. Why are you giving him the basket? All he has to do is drop, step, or spin and dunk it. Like, why are you playing him like that? He never spins to the middle. Like, he never does. He either fades baseline if you cut off his drop, step, or his spin, or he passes out, or he tries to go up and shoot anyway over the top of someone. He never spins to the middle. When was the last time you saw him take a free throw or like around that area fadeaway shot from the post? Like, it never happens, right?
Yeah.
Yet we're playing him like that's his move. Like, oh, he's going to spin to the middle. I better just give him a wide open dunk in the lane, and then I'm going to foul him too and give him an and one after he's already dunked it like stupid. And then the second half, or I don't even think it was the second half. It was just like a few minutes later. We got Eubanks on Jokic doing the same thing. His help's coming from the exact spot that he's overplaying towards the middle. Now, Jokic can score in the middle, but you take it. Like, if he hits that, like, rainbow floater hook or whatever over you, like, if you're Eubanks, you have to live with that, right?
Yeah.
But what does he do? He overplays him towards the top side. Jokic just spins right to the basket, lays it in, and Eubanks reaches in and fouls him on good measure. It's just so dumb. Like, I don't understand why we're not forcing these guys to the middle of the paint where you have the help. No one can help you on Jokic if he's spinning towards the basket or baseline because it's going to be too late and your guy's going to be open for a wide open shot. And if you do get there, he can still make that shot over. Like, it's a lot closer than trying to force him to the middle and where you might force a turnover. Jokic had a bunch of turnovers in this game, and I just don't understand, man.
Yep, you're spitting tonight.
Oh yeah, too. Thanks, Mateo. Gosh, Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to think about that because it's,
I know. That's.
Oh, that dude would have
he
been
would
so
look pretty
nice
nice
to
right
you,
now.
man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love Trey Murphy out of the draft too. No, not only did I love Trey Murphy out of that draft, I loved Herb Jones out of that draft. And then they picked up both of them, and I was like, I think I was saying on draft night, like, wow, they had a phenomenal draft. I think I might have said they were the winner of the draft. Or at least, like, the low-key, like, this is a really good draft. Because they get Trey Murphy at 17 and then Herb Jones at, like, 35. And both those guys have been starting caliber players in their second season. Both those guys have been legitimate. It's like Murphy's a guy that is, like, athletic, can knock down threes, and has, like, length. Like, has all this defensive potential. And then Herb Jones is a good defensive player who can handle the ball, like, decently well for a forward and, is a decent athlete as well. And could be a lockdown guy. And if he could just develop a three, like, he's going to be a perfectly well-rounded player. I didn't understand why teams were higher on both those guys. And then they got both of them. And that, honestly, is why the Pelicans have been playing good basketball lately, is because they have those two guys to kind of fill in the gaps to get it done defensively. Because, I mean, you got Ingram, Zion, and CJ. That's not a good defensive trio at the top. But, would you look at that? You can find guys that could come in as a rookie or a second-year player that can be role players and have an impact on winning. I mean, look at the Pacers this year. They're, I think, still above 500. They had not Halliburton. They had Mathurin playing well. And now, all of a sudden, you have Andrew Nembhard stepping up out of nowhere and looking like an NBA starter. My guy, Andrew Nembhard, a rookie. Second-round pick, by the way. You can find these guys. They
don't help you win for 3 to 4 years, so that's impossible.
Yeah, you're right. But, yeah, so shout out to the organizations that find those guys, because those are the organizations that end up being like sneaky good teams down the line, because you're basically taking a second-round pick, and instead of ending up with somebody who's like a project that maybe never pans out, with Greg Brown the third or whatever, instead you take a guy in Nembhard who's very smart, very skilled, like he's probably going to figure out a way. Ayo Dosunmu is another one of those guys where he was phenomenal in college, and smart, skilled, has size. Those are the guys that end up translating to the league. Even if you throw it all the way back to Malcolm Brogdon when he was like Rookie of the Year as the 36th pick. What was he, Eric? Smart, skilled, and had size for a guard. So, anyway. Yeah, there's a little draft tangent. Dude, I honestly... Whoa. I honestly need to, like... I should have had Nembhard higher. Just thinking back of it, it makes so much sense that he's good.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to overrate him as a Gonzaga fan in here. You're biased.
I mean, we played a team tonight with the ultimate example of a second-round pick.
Who is that?
Jokic.
Oh, yeah, Jokic. Yeah, Jokic. You know who would be an interesting trade target that might be easy to get, depending on how they view his future there?
What?
I'd take a chance on Darius Bazley still. I don't know how they view him, but he's in his contract year, right? He hasn't signed an extension.
I don't know.
He's shooting, he's played 18 games this year, is only playing 15 minutes a game, isn't starting, he's shooting 44% from the field, 36% from three in 15 minutes, averaging 1.3 blocks per game and about half a steal per 36. That's 1.3 steals and 3 blocks. Small sample size, so. But he's always a guy that I like, the shot creation and, just as long as he could knock down threes. And he's on a small sample size, but he's hit a few this year. I don't know. Like, if you can get him for a second-round pick, I mean, that's what this team is probably going to have to end up doing, is taking chances on guys and seeing if they can pan out. Because I don't know what out there that's proven that'll be gettable for what we have to get up contract-wise and pick value-wise, because we don't have our pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
Or this year. And then it's lottery protected for years, so I don't know. You want to read off the last dono?
Sure. Shout out to Josh Hawley for the $10 donation. Thank you. This dono should go to Eric's medical insurance premiums just in case he bursts a blood vessel. Anyone else frustrated with Ant's occasional disappearing acts? I mean, Ant had a bad game. I mean, he's had several good games in a row. I don't know. if that's a disappearing act, I think that's just a bad game. I mean, everyone has bad games, and didn't particularly have it tonight. Didn't particularly have the best opportunities to score in this one. Didn't really do a lot to get him going. I don't feel like that's a priority a lot unless he's the main guard. So hopefully he can figure out a way to be effective with that second unit, even though there's no spacing on the floor. But unless he's making tough shots like Dame did, I don't see a way around that really. But yeah, thanks for the donation though. But I'm not worried or frustrated with Ant at all. Like I think he's fine. I mean, we're just talking before this game about how he's a star, you know.
Yeah. It's a one-off. You know, it sucks, but it is what it is. Are you ready to actually burst a blood vessel, though, Eric?
Yeah, sure.
Because Chauncey's interview is up.
And thankfully, my wife has good health insurance with her jobs.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe have her on speed dial in case you faint. Because here we go with Chauncey. Apparently, some people have said he threw someone under the bus. Apparently, Nurkic or something, and some people are defending it. And who knows? This post-game press conference could be like, oh, that was nothing. Or it could be, what the hell? Why are you turning into Terry Lynn Stotts? Anyway, let's take a listen. It's 3 minutes, 42 seconds, Eric. Let's have fun. Whoops. I just changed it to our stream on accident.
It was hard for.
There we go. Okay. Chauncey Billups. Here we go.
You know, it was hard for our game, the whole game. I thought we was in pretty good control. And then we had a bad start to the fourth quarter again, which was unfortunate, but it was nip and tuck the whole way. And, you know, Jamal Murray hit a hell of a shot, you know, and Dame hit some great shots to keep us in it. But it was just, you know, it was tough down the stretch.
Josh, it's 121-120. Defensively, are you frustrated with that game, or is that just good shot making for 6 minutes?
It was really good shot making, but I am frustrated. We didn't execute the way we needed to in the last few minutes, but more in particular the 8 seconds.
What did you think of the execution on your last play? I mean, 0 point out is not a whole lot of time to get something off of it.
I mean, we turned the ball over. So what can I think? It's poor execution.
What do you think about the defense on Murray on that play? Was that handled well? Was it just Murray hitting a good shot?
No, it wasn't handled well at all. We up 2. Last shot you can give up is a 3. 2 don't beat us. We go in overtime. No big deal. You give up a 3-point shot, no, it's terrible.
So you felt they played off of too much to be more aggressive? Obviously.
It was terrible.
Obviously, you don't like to drop a game here, but Nurk probably had his most complete game of the season. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, yeah, that's fine, but it don't mean nothing. We lost the game. I don't care about stats and none of that. None of that stuff matters, man. We didn't execute well enough to win the game. I don't care who played well. That don't matter to me.
Is it more disappointing as well, given you had practice yesterday, you had some time off, you trying to fix things defensively, and it sounds like guys are not executing anymore?
No, it wasn't. I don't really. That's not a big deal. You're gonna get into some. That's an incredible offensive team. So they're gonna put pressure on you and stretch the defense. They're gonna do a lot of different things. But with all of that being said, you know, and if you're in a good position, we have to lose the game executing what we said we was gonna do. And if we execute and we lose, tip your hat and you go. You don't execute and you lose, you're disappointed, you know. And I'm pretty sure all of our guys in there feel the same way.
So just to clarify, in the timeout before they ran that play, I'm guessing you said like, hey, we can
Of course.
Well, okay, so
Of course.
What was the question? Hold on, I'm gonna try and replay the question.
He asked, just to clarify in the timeouts,
What?
what did you say? Or did you say not to give up a 3 or something like that?
Well, why? Why the... Eric, why the hell do you have Jeremy Grant out on the perimeter then instead of playing in the paint? If your whole goal is to press up on the perimeter and not give up a three, maybe put somebody quick that can, just stick on him and shoot, let him drive by then, I guess, and you got some help in the paint with Jeremy Grant. I don't know. It's just, I don't really understand that at all. Instead, it's like, oh, well, don't give up a three, and Jeremy's going to end up out of the play, but Jeremy's been so bad on guards that he gets shook off and gives up a wide open three. So stupid. Anyway, there's still a minute left. I'll play the rest. Oh, my goodness.
So just to clarify, in the timeout before they ran that play, I'm guessing you said, like, hey, we can three here.
Of course.
Well, okay, so
Of course.
And then after the game, was that kind of the discussion with the team after? Do you not touch that after that happens?
Well, yeah, you obviously, you're up 2 points, 8 seconds. There's only one shot that can kill you, man. Literally. Don't give up an and one, and don't give up a three.
No threes, no fouls.
Okay? And, we just failed to do that, when we had plenty of opportunities there to execute what we said we was going to execute in the timeout.
No threes, no fouls, except when you have a foul to give. Then you can foul if it's not a shooting. Maybe mention that as well. I don't know. That wasn't as bad as some people in chat were making it out to be, Eric. But, yeah, maybe don't put somebody that can't execute defensively against good guards on a good guard. Like, he's talking about, it didn't execute. Jeremy Grant played awful defense on him. Well, let's see. Are we going to learn from this, Chauncey, that maybe Jeremy Grant just isn't built to defend a guy like Jamal Murray? Or is it going to be like, well, I hope he doesn't screw up this time like he has the first 25 games against guards? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that interview?
I'm curious. People saying it's edited. What did they edit out? Like to know that.
He didn't throw Nurk under the bus or anything.
I didn't see that as that.
He said he didn't care about stats. They lost the game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Some people have a Nurk agenda, and so they have to point out that Nurk had a good game, like it's patronizing or something. I don't know. It's dumb, but
yeah. Wow, look, Nurk made some shots.
I didn't have a problem with his answer there. I think he's going to go back and look at the tape and see that Nurk carried the defense in the fourth quarter. Though.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's hard to break down a game when it's like we lose because of one thing that's been a mistake all season. I'm freaking tired of talking about it. I'm freaking tired of Chauncey doing it. I'm tired of losing games late situationally due to defense. Like, we should have at least 2 or 3 more wins if Chauncey just was smarter.
They edited out, he said the S word in response to that question. They edited it out.
Yeah, Leave it in. It's on YouTube. Who cares?
Yeah.
We don't cuss, but I'll occasionally slip an S word in there. It's not bad.
Yeah. So, is that what's going to wake him up? It sounded like he was pretty mad at Jeremy. Like, he was like subtweeting him basically without saying his name. It maybe this will show him that he's not the player he's playing him to be. He needs a different role. We'll
see. Next game is Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
And then the game after that is Minnesota again. So, I don't know. We'll probably see Jeremy Grant on D'Angelo Russell is finally going to have a good game this year. And then maybe the next game, since we play them twice in a row, maybe after D'Lo going off against Grant, maybe then he'll think to switch it up. But I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Jeremy Grant on D'Lo or Anthony Edwards, they go off against him, and then the very next game, we play the same team, and he does the same thing. At that point, I will lose my mind because that is entering territory that I thought we left a year and a half ago with a specific hire of one Chauncey Billups. Yeah, you put Josh Hart up against Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is very strong. Josh Hart is strong enough to battle him and quick enough to bother him. You have Jeremy Grant helping around the rim. You have Jeremy Grant. Who have they been starting instead of Karl Anthony Towns? Because Karl Anthony Towns is out.
I'm blanking on the name.
I can look it up. I'll look up one of their box scores.
I don't think it's Kyle Anderson.
Last game they
Might
started.
be Kyle Anderson.
Kyle Anderson and Jaden with a D McDaniels at the forward spots. Guess what? Kyle Anderson doesn't really shoot too well. You put Jeremy Grant up against him. Okay. Does he run a lot of pick and rolls with that team though? Because he's just kind of a weird player.
So, who'd you say?
Kyle Anderson.
No, he doesn't run a lot of pick and rolls.
Yeah, because he can, but
so actually, I was paying attention to some Minnesota stuff because, well, one, I'm fascinated to, just what a dumpster fire that's been so far. And now there's the team's trying to say like, oh, we knew this was going to be a long developmental process and all this stuff, not like a right away thing. Mm-hmm. But so I was reading about how Anthony Edwards and Gobert pick and rolls have been absolutely terrible because Anthony Edwards doesn't ever pass to Gobert out of them. It's kind of like back to, I forgot what the stat was, but there were games where like Donovan Mitchell didn't pass a single time to Rudy Gobert in the pick and roll and stuff. So here's the thing. When you play in a team like that, you either trap Anthony Edwards then and make him pass, which is something he doesn't really want to do. And then or you play someone who can get in front of him and get through screens and stay in front of him. What you don't want to do is switch that and have Nurk try to guard Anthony Edwards. And then like we saw in the second half of this game, have him switch onto Jamal Murray and like try to stay in front of him, because Anthony Edwards is at this point in their careers is playing much better than Jamal Murray is. So Jamal Murray has been bad this year. So like Edwards, they shouldn't have success in the pick and roll, but for some reason we're going to run that stupid ass crap and it's going to lead to them having success, and it's going to look like they're some really good team all of a sudden.
Here's what you do. You put Jeremy Grant up against Kyle Anderson. You let him roam a little bit. Okay, Kyle Anderson has a slow shot. He is shooting 42% from three, but he's shooting 1.1 attempts per game in 22 minutes. He doesn't really shoot threes.
Yeah.
I think Nurkic shoots threes more often than he does, right? So you put him against Kyle Anderson. He can play some help defense. Obviously, you got to rotate. You don't just want to give completely wide open threes up to Kyle Anderson, but he has a slow shot. Doesn't really look to shoot a bunch of threes. That's how you match up Jeremy Grant. You put Josh Hart up against Anthony Edwards. He has strength and he has some foot speed and can get through an on-ball screen. And, then you have Jeremy Grant helping potentially, depending on the way the floor is set up. You have Yusuf Nurkic potentially helping. And, if what you said is true, and we're going to have some success because Anthony Edwards isn't making good decisions then. And then you put Dame up against D'Lo. D'Lo has struggled this year. He is shooting 33% from three, 44% from the field, 15 points per game, 6.5 assists. That's not terrible, but it's not all-star level D'Angelo Russell. He's kind of regressed since ending up in Minnesota. He's regressed the last 3 years. Can't believe this is his fourth. I guess he was only here half a season, but this is his third full season in Minnesota. It's really been that long. But yeah, you put Dame or Ant up against D'Lo. And then you put the other one up against Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels has some size, but he's not the strongest player. He's
fairly strong. But...
Jaden McDaniels?
Yeah, he's gotten a lot stronger.
He's still not I still wouldn't say he's strong, though. That
I mean,
dude
he's
was
got
like
size,
Chet
too.
Holmgren coming into the league. Yeah, he has size. But that's the thing, though, is if you have Dame Morant on Jaden McDaniels, is he going to post up Dame? Dame's a good low post defender. I think maybe you live with that. But guess what? You got Jeremy Grant to help. You got Jeremy Grant to help down. He can kind of roam and disrupt that and then rotate back out to Kyle Anderson, who doesn't have great foot speed. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you use Jeremy Grant. That's how you match up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they should defend Minnesota.
Yeah.
I would have a lot of confidence if that's how they do it. They'll probably go, I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. You're probably going to see Jeremy Grant on Anthony Edwards or something.
In 2 days.
2 days. Well, tomorrow if you're on the East Coast.
Which we're not.
Yeah. But anyway, I was just trying to save it, man.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So-
It just
it's almost
sucks.
been there.
Just sucks. We should be 14-11 and tied with Denver and have the tiebreaker. Like, this is a really bad game to lose. Especially being up 10 in the fourth quarter. You got to learn how to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take care of business.
Oh, so that was something else I wrote down with Chauncey's thing. So he slipped this in here. Bad start to the fourth again. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't someone ask him, why is it, do you think, that you're having such bad starts to fourth quarters?
Because that
Why is
question
that,
is
Chauncey?
hard to think, you know, like why? You know, like shoot.
I mean,
You have offspring, right? You know, I'm sure they've gone through the stage where they ask why a million times. I went through that stage. I had a whole book that was called like the Book of Why or something, and it was like answers to all my questions about why. But when you when you go through puberty, Eric, you forget to ask why, because that's a great question. Why, Chauncey? Why is the bench unit struggling to start fourth quarters? But no, it's like, dude, the questions of that press conference were awful. They're all forgettable. I did not like those questions. So yeah, you guys.
At least someone did press him on the execution or what he said in timeout. Like,
Yeah.
props for asking that.
But you just like, what's your job as media? Aren't you supposed to get some like introspective insight?
Yeah. Well, the minute he says we had another bad start to the fourth quarter again, the next question has to be, you just said, Chauncey, you had another bad start to the fourth quarter. So is this becoming a problem? What do you think is the solution to this? What do you think you can do to minimize these bad fourth quarter starts? Like, something has to be said to follow up with that. And unfortunately, they didn't do that.
Yeah. Why are you guys struggling to start the fourth, and what can be done to fix it? Boom! But no, they have, Eric, I guarantee you, they have questions written down, and they're like not even listening. Like some people probably are, but some people are just sitting there with like they got their 2 questions, so they're gonna ask it.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, they get their chance. Okay, they ask what they have written down. You know what I mean? Like they have a note card, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, there's some games that's fine, but like,
in a
when
loss
he's-
like this, just try and get him
he's
to
mad.
elaborate.
he says something he thinks is wrong, and we don't ask him about that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's the you know, I used to be like very vocally critical of our media, but it was doing no good, right? And obviously can kind of come across poorly, you know, if I'm sitting here criticizing media, and I'm not even media, I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel, right? But that's why I was very critical in the past.
Well,
was
they all
some of
hate
the-
us anyway.
Yeah, they all hate us anyway. Even the people I have no problem with, you know, personally at all, you know. But yeah, the media doesn't like us, but it's not personal with me not liking a number of these guys. I just want better questions asked. And there's been times where they have asked better questions, but there's just times like this where it's like, please, can you just ask him why? I could, you know, at 5 years old, I asked why to everything, you know? It's not hard to ask why. It's the easiest question to ask, why? But no, it's like, no, it's all surface level stuff. I want some insight. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. But, you know, and, you know, they did poke on something, but when he slips in the bench, what was it? The bench struggled to start the fourth again.
He said bad start to the fourth again, like that.
That's something you should, yeah. That's something I think would be pretty obvious to ask. Okay, why do you keep struggling to start the fourth? Because he said again. It's not even like you're coming up with that. He said again. Anyway, but
and it's cost him several games with poor fourth quarters. That is a topic that's relevant.
Yep. Shout out to Lyubomir Neshev with the 7 Belgium? Bulgarian? I don't know what the currency is. Lyubomir. Is that how I say your name? Lyubomir?
It's
I want to
Bulgarian.
be able to. It's Bulgarian? Okay. I want to be able to pronounce your name right, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Hopefully I am. But thank you for the 7 Bulgarian dollar dono. Says, hey guys, after the stream is over, go to YouTube and type Partisan. He's trying to get me to pronounce more things I have no idea how to pronounce. Go to YouTube and type Partisan Krevna Zvezda from EuroLeague. It will make some of the frustration go away. If only Connor was up to watch some soccer with me, because Connor's a big soccer fan, but unfortunately Connor has to work early in the mornings.
Wait, is that soccer or
Is it soccer? EuroLeague? Is it basketball?
Maybe it's some guy he wants us to check out and scout from.
Is it
EuroLeague.
Wait, is EuroLeague basketball? I'm tripping, dude. EuroLeague is basketball. Why am I thinking soccer? World Cup has me all out of sorts, and so does Chauncey. I have it almost perfect. Okay, I guess I'll take almost perfect. What do they call the EuroLeague like for soccer in Europe?
I think it is soccer. Yeah, I don't know.
Do I click on this link, Aeromancer, without knowing where it goes and knowing that the audio will play on the stream? I don't know if I risk it.
I'll click it for you.
Click it. Are we good? Premier League. Yeah, that's right, Mateo. I am tripping. It is basketball. It's the Serbian Derby, just to check out the atmosphere on the stands. Oh, yeah, they get crazy over there in Europe. I love it, man. I wish we had more of that over here. Not some of the craziness that I've seen over there, but, you know, some of the chants and stuff would be fun.
Was that How Are You Fat in there?
What'd you say to me?
Oh, they had some guy shooting a free throw that looked like.
Yeah, like the riots and stuff is a little too much, Eric Olsen, but yeah, the atmosphere is cool. Yeah. Atmosphere is fun. You know, I wish it was a playoff atmosphere every game for us. But Europeans are ride and die. They're my type of fan. So, you know, like I feel like if we got everybody in this
They're
chat,
crazy like us.
yeah. If we got like everybody, Eric, just think about it. If we cloned me and you like 10,000 times, and it was a bunch of me's and you's in the stands at Moda Center, it'd probably be like EuroLeague, right? You know, I know you like to sing. You probably get some chants going. All the Eric Branson there, and I would, you know, at some point maybe drink a beer or two, and all the Tories would jump in on it. But yeah, if we took this community and sent them to a Blazer game, I trust that it would be rowdy. Kieran says, I'm so loud, Kieran, I respect you.
As Trevin points out, we lost the DeAndre Jordan minutes tonight by 9 points. That can't happen.
Let's go.
We
lost by one banked-in free throw, Eric.
Yes, we did. It's crazy. It's like if you have a big that can catch lobs and dunk the ball, it doesn't matter how old he is, how immobile he's looked for the last couple of years, like he will kill our team.
Yeah. Well, DeAndre Jordan only had 5 points in 14 minutes. Bones Highland has had bigger games than this. He had 13 points in 26. Like, okay, that's solid, I guess. But it's not even like their bench statistically did anything all that insane. But you look at the plus minus, and it's like plus a million.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, there was a time in the first half where there was 4 straight possessions where we had Watford starting the possession off on Bones Highland, not even switching. Because we had that stupid lineup in, so like who is he supposed to guard, you know?
Yeah. Guys, I'll be honest, I didn't watch the first half of this game. I was at Rec League, all right? I told you guys at some point, you know. You guys wouldn't have known with the way the end of that game was, but I had a rec league game and was playing.
Did you
some
play
basketball.
Pineapples?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
played Pineapples. Was he in here flexing on me?
Did you lose to him?
Yes.
Okay.
But
No.
he wasn't the best. He wasn't the best player on his team though. He is the good number 2. He was Anfernee Simons.
Yeah.
He got this 6'4" dude that just like gives me problems defensively when he defends me. Sorry, Pineapples, if you're listening, but you know Jack can lock up.
No, he didn't. He hasn't been in chat, at least that I have seen. He mentioned something earlier that he thought he was playing against you tonight.
Yeah. Pineapple's my guy, man. He's cool, but
Christian Pena says, I personally think that turnover on the fast break with Simons a Hart and didn't convert those 2 points down the stretch was critical. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you blow a chance to get a basket in a tight game, that definitely doesn't help.
yeah. I did watch like a lot of the highlights back first quarter, second quarter, so I saw a lot of the made buckets and even some of the stops. Because you can go on YouTube like right after a quarter's over and find first quarter highlights, and it's like some good defensive possessions and every offensive make, even free throws. So, kind of did it that way. Obviously, it's not as good, but normally I tell you guys when I don't watch the first half, and I always get like 3 people where it's like, you didn't watch how you doing a post game show. It's like I could sit here and not tell you guys and fake it, and I don't know if you guys would be able to notice. But normally I'm just honest. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I try and give honest, in-depth analysis. So I'm going to be honest. Like, yeah, I didn't watch the first half of this game. I had a rec league game, right? No big deal. Like, you know what I mean? But it's always funny when people give me crap for being honest like that when I could sit here and fake it. That's always cracked me up there. Because there's always that 1 or 2 guys like that.
Well, this particular game had so much stuff happen in the second half that at first half seems so far away and inconsequential. But, yeah.
Will you guys review the last play? I'm telling you, Dame wanted the ball and Winslow didn't even look at him. Dame could have shot a 38-footer if Winslow passed him the ball, and honestly, that's probably what he should have done.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it turned it
dude,
over.
I know you haven't played a whole lot with Dame, but when Dame is hot and going insane, yeah, you live and die by Damian Lillard at that point with a 38-footer with 0.9 left. Yeah. But, no, he threw it into a defender for fun.
Once again, we had a timeout. That play didn't seem like it was materializing well. We could have called it again and ran something different, but no. Yeah, when Dame does the clap, you give him the ball.
Yep. Nick Batum knows we need to fight. Honestly, you know how perfect Nick Batum would be for us?
Yeah, his contract is one of those that's really tough to match, and yeah.
I know. I'm just thinking, like, backup 4, can defend guards, can get through screens, can make the right pass, right play, and then knock down some threes and isn't going to force anything too much. Like, that type of play. He would be... Dude, he could average 4 points per game and he'd be perfect for us. He could even play the Winslow, like, secondary playmaker role. Just fine. But he could also hit a freaking 3. And he can guard guards better than Justice. God, I want Nick Batum back, man. I think I still have his 88 somewhere. But, yeah, no. We get Justice.
Yeah, and, I mean, I know people said this in chat earlier, but everyone was thinking it at the time. There's 0.9 left. Dame has to get the ball, right?
Yep.
0.9 design.
Yep. Could have said 0.9 2.0. But Justice said, no, I'm going to throw it to the defense.
Well, maybe Chauncey learned something about Justice as the inbound passer in those situations too.
Dude, but look, I can't count on Chauncey learning anything because of how long it's taken him to learn nothing.
Man, Nurk was open too. Nurk game winner would have been sweet.
Oh yeah, a little floater. Yeah, against his old team against Jokic. Yeah, I would have loved that, but anyway, this stream has been fun, not gonna lie. Kinda enjoyed this stream. Like, I don't like being mad and I don't like losses at all, but the last 3 days having it off was refreshing. I came back today refreshed, and then Yeah, like his loss was frustrating, but I don't know. It's been fun to vet with you guys. Thank you for making us a part of your nights.
Yeah.
Bittersweet.
I feel like Dame's on fire, right? In the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have known that Dame was going to get the ball. I don't feel like they even really flat out went to deny him that much. Like I'd like to watch that again maybe, but I felt like he still maybe could have gotten that shot off. He had just hit a shot from that spot like a few minutes earlier over Murray, a long rainbow 3-pointer. So maybe give it to him in that situation, but they know Ant killed him earlier in the year, right? And so they know we're probably giving it to one of them. And then they're also saying, oh, watch the lob to Jeremy like we've tried to do twice now. So, like, I don't know. How do you not get someone open? Like, or like run some sort of action. So one of those two is a decoy, something. Like, I don't understand how the tension those guys get doesn't lead to someone being open and an easier pass than what Winslow had to make.
Here's what you do, Eric. Here's what set you run in that situation. You have Sharp in the game, okay? You have Sharp set a pin down for Ant, I think, like on the baseline, right? Ant in the corner below the inbounds. You have him screen down, pin down. So Ant's like coming off towards the ball. Okay, but then Sharp slips the screen and goes back door. Meanwhile, at the top of the key, you have that screen away for Dame, and then you have Nurkic slipping or whatever, or Nurkic inbounding the ball and somebody else slipping, or you wouldn't slip it. You try and get Dame a good screen because you want to get him open, but then you have him kind of go to the middle of the paint like they did, and then you call a timeout and draw something else up if those options aren't open. That's what you do. But, like, I don't know what we were doing other than setting a screen away for Dame and then slipping that. It was like the other two guys didn't seem like they were doing a whole lot. I have to rewatch the play. But, I mean, are people going to worry about Sharp? Like, shoot, I'd be tempted to put Dame in the bottom corner. He's going to get a bunch of attention. If he comes off a Sharp pin down and Sharp slips it and goes back door and you have somebody that can throw him a lob, that might be your best bet with 0.9. Because both defenders are probably going to go with them, and if the other two defenders are engaged and you have a fifth defender on the ball who's there to protect the rim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Gotta get a little bit more creative, because it's just like, even back to Terry Stotts, it's like, okay, we're going to screen away, and Dame's going to run right at the ball. And hopefully they mess up like Houston did that one time 8 years ago.
Well, it's almost like they expected Dame to be, like, guarded differently or something, so that's why I think Dame was frustrated because as people point out in chat, it didn't look like the play was really for him initially, but it looked like he was open for a second. So yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
But well, the other thing is too, I mean, yeah, Sharp that works for, but you could also have Ant pretend he's getting a pin down and just slip to the basket, and you could lob it up to him. He has bounce as well and can finish around the rim, so that would have been a nice wrinkle as well.
Yeah, it'd also be nice for the inbounder to have a little bit more space at that specific spot.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Because that's right at the end of the scorer's table.
Mm-hmm.
Just make a rule where you have like a little gap between the end of the scorer's table and the stands, and the player can like inbound it from a little bit further back, because it's tough, man. Like, they have to be right up against the line, whereas like if they're baseline, they can actually be back behind it more.
I don't like having, like, it seemed like our options were in the near corner, because Jokic can pretty much play the sideline, and that's a tough pass over a 7-footer. And it just seemed really like a jumbled mess over there in the corner, and nothing was like, neither of them were open. And they're, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, we got somebody tripping in chat. He says, "Can I hold some hands?" Hands in the chat, and then said, "Winslow was so good, y'all are so stupid." Ha. We just need more boys, Eric.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know what he's been talking about. He's been arguing with Chris a lot in chat.
Great analysis, Garabed. I'm proud of you. Yeah, Winslow 2 for 6, phenomenal shooting night for him. You're right. I agree. Good job, Justice. Good inbound pass. Nurk should have caught that somehow. I know. I figured you were trolling, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know if you're drunk off the $10 beer since you said you were there. If you're drunk off the $10 beer, you probably spent $40 on beer, which is probably a mistake. Eric, what's the most beer you've bought at Moda Center before?
I don't think I've ever bought a beer at Moda Center.
Neither have I.
If it is, it's like 1 or 2. I don't really drink at sporting events so much.
Ish Fluent says, why doesn't Watford shoot when he's open? Well, Ish, why does Derek Jones Jr. yell when he dunks?
Yeah, I mean, he just can't hit outside shots consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully that comes someday, but yeah.
Need shooters. Need shooters. Hassan Whiteside would be disappointed. We need guys that can knock down threes. Because this bench just doesn't have enough shooting. Hopefully Gary Payton II has been working on his three-point shot and all the time that he's missed. Rodney Hood. Kieran, unfortunately, Rodney Hood is not a shooter anymore. He's not in anything at the NBA level. And it's probably because of the Achilles injury, which I feel bad for him. At least we kind of took care of him contractually.
He was shooting close to 50% 3-point.
I know, and then he got hurt. Well, the problem is with him is he was a guy who shot with so much lift on his threes.
Yeah.
That if you can't get that same lift, all of a sudden the entire rhythm of your three is off. Like the energy chain, the flow, the timing of everything is off. So if he was a guy that like barely jumped, like Steph barely jumps when he shoots, then he'd probably be, yeah. You have this, yeah. You jump down when you shoot, but if he didn't jump when he shot and could shoot 50%, he probably would have been fine shooting wise. The problem is he got so much lift that he probably didn't get the same amount of lift afterwards, and that definitely messed him up. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna refuse to watch that game winner by Jamal Murray. It hurts too bad still.
Oh man, that was a good shot, man. Dude, it left his hand. I was like, oh crap, that looks good. It looked like it was going in.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Just sucks to ruin a Dame game like that. But hey, man, if there is one positive, it's that Dame is back to being Dame now that he's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we're 13-12. Still play one of the hardest schedules in the league. Should have won that game against Denver. Would have been 14-11 and like right there in the thick of things. Yeah, we're 13-12, but we're 25 games in the season. We still have 57 left. So we're not even a third of the way into the season. Easy schedule the rest of the way. This team has some very obvious flaws in his... Oh, shut up, ESPN. Don't get me copyright claimed with whatever song that was. What I was saying was... we got some obvious flaws, and we're still competitive against good teams. Ant sucked tonight. The bench sucked tonight. Got outscored in the non-Jokic minutes. But we still should have won this game. So, I don't know. Maybe Chauncey finally learns because of this, and maybe this is a silver lining and helps us out in the long run. Jeremy Grant getting burnt like this. I don't know, man. But Dame's back. Anfernee Simons probably isn't going to have a game this bad again for the rest of the season. Hopefully not. Knock on wood. But this was probably the worst game of the season scoring-wise for him. But it would help if he had a little bit more floor spacing so that he could carry the second unit, because the problem is none of those guys can create their own shot, and none of those guys can really shoot the ball. So, yeah.
Also, I mean, this isn't nothing, but he did hit a big shot when it mattered. When he got the opportunity. That's now the second game this year he's been awful, but hit an important shot in the last few seconds. So,
Yeah, you want those guys that even if they struggle all game, they'll step up and come up with a big shot when you need them.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he still, is so level-headed that he can bounce back from a bad game and have a clutch shot like that is huge. Because that was a tough shot, too.
Yep.
Chris Brandlin says, your takes tonight have not been excellent. Have not. What's been wrong, Chris?
He's not talking to you. Him and Garben have been arguing all stream.
Oh.
That's nothing to do with you, man.
I need to pay attention to...
Yeah.
I was ready to get feisty.
No, man.
Damn.
There's no reason to get feisty.
Okay. But he said at the start of it, it's got nothing to do with my membership or donos. It's just basketball analysis.
It's because Garben
excellent.
told him that his analysis was only being treated well because he donates.
Oh, okay. See, that's why I thought it was about us.
Yeah.
I was ready to spar. Yeah, Eric Olson. I don't know. I have too much energy right now. I finally ate.
Good thing I'm reading chat.
Yeah. I've been reading chat too. I know. there's certain people when they start arguing, I will filter them out. I noticed the green names more, which is why you should become a channel member. But yeah, don't call out my guy Chris Gar. All right. Eric saved me. Or did he save Chris? I don't know. Who would come out of that, Chris? Me or you? I feel like it'd probably be you. Anyway.
Hey, Damir, good to see you.
We're just gonna hang out for 5 minutes, I guess. I don't know. Oh, what I was gonna do is I was gonna test the coding I have for this live on stream. Why not? Let's do it. So I'll actually set that up.
Sorry, I don't have any breakdowns tonight because I had to watch the first half at work. Made it home for the second half. I had a bunch of plays written down, time stamps to go back and take pictures. And then, so I go at, I had a break between the third and fourth quarter. I was going to take pictures real quick, and my DVR just decided that it no longer has any of my series recordings on there, including Blazer games, so that my game didn't get recorded. And so, yeah, I didn't have a way to go back to the first quarter once I got home. So, unfortunately, got to figure out why I just erased all my recordings on there.
Yep.
No, I didn't say it already. Yeah, sorry. Just didn't have it.
Unfortunate. What is going on with this? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of cut off, but it's close. I'll have to let them know. Cool. So if I don't know. I have to figure this out after the stream. But next stream, the graphics and everything should be coded. So just been like working out the kinks. Me and Nick's been helping me. This guy, Nick, shout out to him. Don't know what his YouTube name is. He didn't tell me, but he's been helping me code these graphics. So looking forward to getting that ready.
A Festivus for the rest of us. What does Dame say specifically about it? He says that Dame talks about Jeremy Grant guarding people in his interview. Max, I think the crowd energy has been good. Right, Reese and Mom?
I think, dude, I don't know what it is with the broadcast, but I feel like it filters out less crowd noise than it did 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want the crowd noise filtered out. I want to feel the crowd in my living room. I want to feel the stadium. I want to feel the atmosphere at home. Let's see here.
Hey, Alex.
What's that? Is that Alex Wolf?
Yeah. So what are you doing in Phoenix?
What is he doing in Phoenix?
I know he went to the Suns game last night.
Got to witness a blowout.
He was all excited because he got to see Chris Paul back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah, that's being cut off. Anyway. This is the rough draft of the top stats being coded. Unfortunately, it's being cut off. Whoops, I'm sliding the wrong thing. But, Yeah, so it's basically what we've always had. Just, don't have to rely on Krish to do everything after the fact, which will be nice. Because Krish goes to games and has a lot of things going on. He don't want to, do them every game like he did last year. So should hopefully be able to have graphics every single night. Just obviously got to work out the kinks because, it's difficult. It's difficult. But, yeah.
Besides Dame's masterclass, are there any positives tonight? I thought Nurk played well. Yeah.
Yeah, Nurk played good. 9 for 10, made a couple threes. The shooting is real. We had this debate on the Believe podcast. Where do you think his 3-point percentage ends up at the end of the season, Eric? In chat, you guys can answer this too.
37.3.
I said 37.5. Steven went higher, which
yeah.
is shocking. He was higher than both of us on a Nurkic thing. Yeah.
That sounds like a negative. I still think that's really good. I didn't think it.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the thing. If we're saying Nurkic shooting 37% from 3 sounds negative, that's crazy. Because if you told us that before the season, we would have taken 37% to Harvey. We would be like, oh, my goodness, I would love that.
It's such a small sample size that it will fluctuate a lot, I think, between 33 and 45-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I may let him fly, big man.
Absolutely. Is there a way I can fix this? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, I should have this going next game. I'm looking forward to that.
And what are people doing tonight that they don't have the uniforms to blame? That lame excuse.
Oh, I know. Yeah, what do we blame it on? Well, it's Chauncey's fault.
No, I'm just saying the people who only have blamed the uniforms for our losses.
Yeah. Actually, this is done. I just had to fix something. That was actually on my end. Cool. Perfect. Bang, look at that. So, when we do future watch parties as well, just for those of you who care, since we're winding down the stream, this at the top should update live. I think it's maybe going a little too fast. What do you think?
Well, if it's going too fast, I don't know if this is possible or not. It'd be nice if it was centered, the stats. They're all to the left.
Yeah, he can center it.
Yeah.
He can center it.
But yeah.
He's good.
Dame had so many stats tonight that it doesn't even fit.
Yeah, it was like, I said, can we pull the top 3 out of points, assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals, and then pull field goals, and then pull 3-point shooting or free throw shooting, whichever had more attempts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did for that. So I think that's how it's coded. It's just Dame's stats are so, lengthy, which is good. We'll have to figure out something for that. But that's the thing with this is a little bit of troubleshooting and whatnot. But the player cards will be animated. It'll be nice to just start talking about a player at the start of a stream and be able to pull up their player card. That's honestly one of the biggest things I'm excited for. Because we'll talk a lot about players and we'll go through player cards. It's we've already talked about him a lot. Do you have anything else to say? It'll be nice to just kind of go in depth from the get-go. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for anything we should add to post-game shows or anything else we should do, let me know. I'm always looking to improve things. I'm going to animate some stuff for the top right where it says follow us on Twitter right now. I'm working on something for that as well. I already kind of have that built out. It should look cool. I just don't know if it'll be too distracting with some of the animations that'll be up there. But yeah, looking forward to some more stuff.
Aeromancer is asking how a push works in points against the spread, since the spread was 1 in this game. Yeah, so 4 people doubled down on it, so the game just won't count towards the standings. And then the 4 people who doubled down will just have to double down on 2 teams on Monday. So that's how we'll do it.
I went 1 and 2. I suck. At least I picked against the Heat and was right. The Heat suck.
Yeah. Imagine if you would have taken the Heat again today. If you would have flipped the coin and it came up Heat, man.
Oh, goodness. I would have cried. We also have... Ooh, that's the other thing I want to try right now. So these were the scores from today. Spurs beat the Rockets. Even though Spurs have been taking hard, they finally win a game. And Heat beat the Clippers, but they did not cover the spread, so Clippers picks were right, which was nice. And then... And then I should have standings coded, and I'll throw that in there.
Yeah, great result for those of us that picked the Clippers or bet on the Clippers in that game because they get the L, which helps us, but they cover the spread at least. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for standings, I need to put the numbers on the left. That I'm just doing on my end. But yeah, this will be the new standings sheet. I just have to fix it.
I mean, there's no doubt that a competitor like Dame wants the last shot, especially when we turn the ball over and don't even get a shot. Of course, he wishes he had the last shot. But I guarantee you, if someone else would have gotten a shot and just missed it, he wouldn't have been as mad.
Yep. Agreed. Is that too small, chat? Is that too small? Do I need to do it in like 2 different sections? Let me know. Like if I had numbers down the left. You guys are helping me troubleshoot. That's what the end of the stream's going to be.
It is a little small unless you're on a computer. But
yeah, it's hard to do it top and bottom. I want to do it with the same layout because I like this layout, this camera layout. But
you can just you condense our. I mean, our camera layouts are pretty wide on this one.
Yeah, we could condense it and do it like left and right. That'll probably be the play. So I'll just do it something like, yeah.
Arrowman's just flexing his 30-inch monitor.
What? Hey, yo. This didn't update for the Blazer game, though, which I'm kind of curious about how we can make that better. So that's some of the troubleshooting, obviously, that we need to do. That sort of thing. But, yeah, we'll probably do it like...
Yes, Mateo, the Pelicans are currently the 1 seed.
Yep. Are you buying them?
I mean, if CJ gets his head out of his butt, like,
Yeah.
they've been playing well despite his shooting struggles. So, and Ingram's been out a few games. Zion's been awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why they couldn't be legit. I still don't buy them as like a contender, maybe. But yeah, I think they're pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to figure out how to lay this out. That was the biggest thing for me to figure out with this, and also figure out how to get it to update live. But since they update live, won't have to have Chris on that. That'll make things easier as well. But yeah, I'll have to figure out how to lay this out. All that sort of stuff. But that'll be cool. Anyway,
because the last few games, Zion's averaging like 30 points per game on insane efficiency with like a bunch of rebounds and assists too.
yeah, he's playing well. I just don't trust their defense. I don't trust them to keep it up defensively.
Yeah.
So
Reese says their bench is insane. Yeah, did you see? I think he started this game, but well, maybe he didn't. But Alvarado had like 38 the other day.
Yeah, and Dyson Daniels has had some good minutes too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like good role player stuff that he does. He's not going to score a bunch of points, but he plays defense. He makes the right pass. Like, call me crazy, but I'd rather have Dyson Daniels in the Winslow role right now.
I mean, it definitely have more upside, but I mean, it'd be also nice to have a backup big like Larry Nance.
Yeah. We're going to have to do games back as part of this. Crap. That's the one thing it's missing. I knew I was missing something. We'll have to do games back. So I'll have to figure out how to lay that out. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
That'll be good. It'll be good to go. I just like having our webcams up with the standings as well.
Arrowmancer has an idea for you. He'll show you in Discord.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, give me any feedback you guys want to, man. I'm all ears. Always trying to give you guys the best product possible. So, I'm all ears on that. You know what I mean? If you guys think you got a good idea, sure, it might be a good idea. Might be something I couldn't think of on my own. So, this main thing actually, like, Gabe was helping me do this, and he He tried describing something, but it made no sense, but it gave me the idea of laying the top out with, like, the score on the top and bottom. Because I was trying to do it on the left and right, and then I was like, how do I fit the player stats? So Gabe helped me kind of with conceptualize this sort of thing. I'm all ears, man. I'm all ears. But, yeah, anything else you want to talk about for this unfortunate post-game stream?
No, just hope to see everyone on Saturday night after hopefully we get back in the winning column against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and appreciate everyone's support tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting us vent, and for having the audience to let us vent and have this therapy session. So appreciate all of you.
Yep, tough loss tonight, but the Blazers still only 2 games back out of 4th place and home court advantage. Of course, they're behind the Nuggets. The Nuggets are in 4th. Would have tied them up. Would have been tied for 4th right now, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been tied for 4th right now if they won that game.
Nice.
1 shot away from being tied for 4th. That's how close the West is. That's why I'm, long term, losses don't worry me long term.
Well,
you got to figure out how to take care of business, but it's a process and it's a roller coaster, and Chauncey needs to pull his head out of his ass.
At some point, it's going to start costing you if you keep saying the same thing over and over. That
Absolutely.
But we're still right there. This loss.
Wouldn't you rather, if you're gonna lose a game in a really dumb way, wouldn't you rather it come against Denver than like the Spurs?
I mean, I think they're both equally.
Yeah, but like if we lost this game this way to the Spurs, it would be a lot worse right now.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know, if we won this game though, I would feel a lot better about playoff matchup with how well Nurkic did on Jokic and how they're still struggling to guard one of our guards going off and all that kind of stuff.
You'd feel good about a playoff matchup with them if we won?
I mean, it's the same whether we won or lost, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I'd rather beat the good teams so we have tiebreakers.
No, for sure. I mean, my whole thing though is we have wins on the horizon if we play like we did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have wins on the horizon. We've played the Spurs once, the Rockets once. We haven't played Detroit or Orlando yet. Haven't played Chicago. Haven't played Washington, I don't believe. Those are 4 out of the 5 bottom 5 teams in the East.
I'm really frustrated with our home record, though, regardless of who it's been against.
Yeah, got to win games at home, but it's just late game stuff, man. I mean, like, if there's like 3 games at the very least I can point to Chauncey. I mean, you win those 3 games, you're 16-9. You're a half game out of first. You know what I mean? That's how thin the margin is. The West is wide open. It's essentially, I'm starting to view it as, obviously you got to try and avoid the play-in, so wins matter, but as long as you avoid the play-in, which I'm still confident the Blazers will, given the schedule they have the rest of the season, and maybe they can make a couple moves to shore up their bench. If they miss the play-in, it's basically just try and get your team up to snuff by the middle of April when the playoffs start. Because the teams that are playing the best at the end of the season, I think, will be the teams to beat in the West in the playoffs. Because I don't think any of these teams are super impressive. Phoenix, they've been good the past couple of years, made the finals, and last year they got the 1 seed, 64 wins. But I'm not scared of Phoenix, dude. Last night they got Chris Paul back, and they were down like 40 points to the Celtics. They're 16-9, right? Pelicans are the first seed. We beat them when they were healthy without Dame. So I'm not worried about any of these teams in the West. I think the Blazers can compete in a series against any of them if they do the right things. As if Chauncey coaches situationally better than this, he has to learn, which he still has 57 games to learn. Hopefully he will, but it's getting frustrating at this point. I love how I titled the thumbnail, Chauncey Will Never Learn, and now I'm saying Chauncey still has 57 games to learn, but ignore that. You got time to figure it out. It's just what it's going to be. Is can they figure things out? Can they shore up the bench by the time the playoffs start? If they do, they got a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll talk trades in the future. If you guys got any names that fit, the criteria I laid out earlier, definitely bring them my way. Anything else you want to say?
Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night. Appreciate all of you.
Yep. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hopefully this was therapeutic for you. The Blazers play again Saturday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll have you covered with the post-game show after hopefully a home win. It would be nice to get back on the winning track and win 3 out of 4. That would be pretty cool. So a little misstep today, but it was still a fun game with Dame looking like vintage Dame, looking like himself. 40-point bomb from him tonight. Nurkic, good game. It's a tough loss. It's a tough loss. Got to stop putting Jeremy Grant up against good guards. We'll have you covered on Saturday. Hopefully you enjoy your Friday. And until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.